Welcome to the Henshin Hangout. My name is Mark, aka Heirloom, and today we're going to be talking about news in Super Sentai, from product releases to the review of the Donbrothers episode 14. So let's jump straight into it. First of all, there wasn't much of Sentai news for product. Basically, we had a new update for the Gokai Cellular, which is called the Tuscular, which I think I probably said wrong. Have no idea. Let me know in the comments as well as the chat. But basically, all this is an add-on that goes with the Gokai Cellular, which is the memorial version, which is out very, very soon. And it does come with a few extra things. Now, if you're wondering, hang on a minute, where was this premiered? Tukaiser and Gokaiger. The Zenkai, it's a team-up thing. It's a special thing that I reported last week on. We saw the addition to the Gokai Cellular, where Flint used it to transform into the Tukaiser version. You know, so it was cool. It was really nice. And it was very kind of like, will they bring this out? Will they do it? Yes, they did. They brought it out. And I have to admit, I'm really excited because I love Gokaiger, and it comes with some actually fantastic keys, two of which I really need to add to my collection. Now, at the moment, it's unaware of if some of the other keys, like Torkyuja or Ninja, will work in this, if it's going to say something. But to be fair, if they only just made a few of them actually talk, it would be kind of weird. But I have a feeling that all of this is going to work properly within the kind of cellular, so it won't just be kind of like some buttons will or some buttons won't. One thing it does come with is sounds from Zox and Flint, which I'm very kind of excited on. And it looks like it's going to have probably a speaker in the back or something, or somewhere so you can actually hear these lines. On screen right now, we have Zoo the World from Zooja, then we have Ho-Ho Soldier from Q-Ranger, Lupin X and Pattern X from Lupin Ranger versus Pattern Ranger. Those are the ones that I want the most. Then we have Ryosol Gold, and then obviously we have Kira Major Silver, which are all kind of nice ones, and again they're from Ryo Soldier as well as Kira Major, and they do look really kind of nice. And I'm just really excited. All these are properly painted, so it's not like the kind of old colors that we used to see when obviously Gokaiger was around. And if you're a Gokai collector, this is a must for it. Even if you're kind of on the fence, at least it comes with some really good keys, and it's kind of carrying on. Now, my kind of prediction on all of this is they're going to keep making these keys because they're going to keep making the keys because it's a money maker. It also comes with an extended stand, so if you wanted to put the cellular with this edition on, you can do, and this is going to be released in January next year of 2023, so I'm very excited about that, and I kind of really want more. But in other news, we have something that's come from the Premium Bandai collection, and I was very kind of like, oh, that's really weird for it to come out. And this is basically the DX NATO brace set, which is the bad guys from Donbrothers, the Henshin devices. And I generally was kind of shocked about this in a way. I was like, oh, they look cool. They look really cool, don't get me wrong. I actually kind of really like them. But I kind of think this is just a money kind of thing. Oh, we need more, so do it. But I've got to admit, some of the designs look absolutely fantastic. And if you're into Donbrothers like myself, I am going to be picking these up, so I'm hoping you can. But if you want to read all of this as well, you can. Zenkai Daddy Bryn has actually been reporting on this and has listed them over at the Illuminerdi.com. So definitely go check out if you want some more information. But kind of breaking all of this down, this has 25 recorded lines from the 3 actors who play the bad guys. And also it has different sounds of them morphing or kind of like transforming, but you can actually switch them out as well. So each one will play a different one. It's not just going to be the standard sort of one going around, but I generally kind of really like it. I like that it's very simplistic. If you know, it's not like big and bulky. So I'm wondering how it's going to do it properly with sound. If it's going to sound really cool, or if it's going to sound a bit tinny. This is set for a November release and is actually quite cheap as well at 6,050 yen, but it could be a little bit more from different sites if you wanted to pick them up. But I kind of really like this. I generally really loved the designs and thought, hey, why the hell not? So that's pretty much it for literally news in the Sentai. I will be reviewing at some point the Gokaiger and Tukaiser, or Tukaiser and Gokaiger, kind of small spin-off that they did very, very soon, as soon as it's done. But so far, it looks really cool. It's a little bit weird, but I like weird, and I kind of think it's really cool. But for now, we're going to be talking about Donbrothers and what's been happening in the series so far. So let's jump to the review. This episode wasn't as strong as the last one, mainly because it felt like, you know, you had Don Momotaro being kind of destroyed at the last episode, and that was kind of like shocking, very much like, what the hell? But later on, it just kind of, I wish that he didn't come back type thing until like much later on, because it felt like it was more, oh, he's back. So that's the thing. I wasn't a big kind of fan of this one, but this entire episode is them wanting to bring him back, to try and find a way. The Donbrothers are talking to Kaito, saying like, oh, hey, like, could you bring him back? Is there a way? Do you know what's going on? And he's like, oh, I thought that you'd get overpowered by his own strength, and that's what would defeat him. Which to me sounds like he's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger over time, which kind of makes me wonder, is that the way that they want to go with? Is that the way that they want to kind of end it, where he gets too strong, where he has to be sealed away? Maybe I should just read the kind of the legend that this is based on, because that would probably tell me how the series is going to work and how it's going to go through. But for now, everyone is kind of wondering what's going on. They're saddened and they're kind of like down that their leader has gone. And I can understand it. Like, to me, I would be exactly the same. But they're kind of wondering what they should have done. Like, should they have boycotted the fight? But that doesn't kind of work. But this main episode is kind of turning around and focusing on the 6th Ranger. But his name is Momitani, and I kind of really like it. So it kind of goes through the whole thing of he effectively came in the world the same as Don Momotaro, and he is kind of like training since birth, that he could literally start training. And it shows this kind of life of this small village, which I generally really like. I like the fact that they've gone outside the main city, and you know, they're showing kind of the backstory, like the rural end of Japan, which I absolutely love. But with this, he's saying goodbye to all his friends, and he decides to become a hero, because he's got that voice inside him going, hey, come and be a hero, you've got to do this. And I kind of generally like it, because he's a very likable person so far, and considering how sometimes you think, like with me, Zox from Zenkaijo, I was like, oh, you're a bit of a dick, aren't you? But I kind of really like Momitani for this, because he just seems like a good guy. So he says goodbye to everyone and basically makes his way to the city. The kind of quick updates is Sonny, who is the one who defeated Don Momotaro, is feeling guilt. He doesn't know what it is, but he is feeling guilt for the way that he took advantage of finding out the Don Momotaro's weakness, and he doesn't know what to do with it. For some strange reason, he's fighting one of the bestials, which we've seen previously in the series, where they can't be defeated, but it just seems really out of place, like they're training or something. But this woman transforms into this bestial, which I'm guessing we're going to see much later on, and thus therefore all his comrades are like going, hey, you took down Don Momotaro. That's pretty decent, isn't it? And he's like, oh, I don't kind of like this. The main bad guy in this is a guy who is playing, I'm guessing, mahjong or something like that, or a form of chess. But he loses it because he can't figure out how to beat this, like, his competitor, and turns into a monster. He flips the board, basically. He's like, I don't care about this, and turns into a monster. And his main thing is, as he goes around the city, turning people into mahjong kind of pieces, or at least chess pieces, but not the standard chess piece that we know today. But he decides to turn everybody into it, and the Donbrothers start fighting. But Oni's sister is about to be defeated until Sonny jumps in and actually defends her, and everyone's like, what the hell? This brings in Momitari, who literally just throws rocks. He's like, look at me, I am this person, and just throws rocks, and everyone just goes, what? What the hell? But I kind of like one of them that starts laughing. He's like, that sounds like it's a genuine laugh rather than I'm practicing, which he's done. So we now come to Donbrothers Black, who is basically walking, and he sees the police chief, which I don't like the police chief in this, because we obviously know he's a bestial. He's going in to kind of go attack, and so rather than be like shouting, he turns into like this zombie sort of like roaring, and I'm just like, do we need this in here? It just seems a bit kind of weird. So Donbrothers Black basically jumps on a bike and runs off, and he bumps into Pink's wife, who basically gets hurt because she basically fell over because he almost ran her over. One thing that made me think about this is I feel that she's being kind of changed. She used to be Natsumi, who he was in love with, but then all of a sudden, like, she doesn't remember him, and he literally says, hey, it's me, it's me. And she's like, oh, I don't know you, and then falls on the ground afterwards and, you know, has to go to hospital. Everybody's met with Momotaro, but he turns around and says, hey, we're all friends, like, you know, I'm your leader now, this is what we're gonna do. And everyone kind of rejects him straight away. Pink hears that his wife is in the hospital, so he rushes off, and then the others just kind of disappear because they want to go to the cafe to say, hey, if we have wishes, can we use them to bring back Don Momotaro? That's who we want to do. And thus, therefore, it's like, kind of not. To kind of wrap this up, Momotaro actually comes back, and, you know, because Oni's sister is shouting his name because she needs him there to kind of join the team. And thus, therefore, he comes back, he turns into his robot mode. They all turn into robots, and they all kind of combine to make the Megazord. And as they kind of destroyed the main bad guy in this one, they turn around and say, like, oh my god, I'm so glad you're back. And he just disappears. There's a thing, he just disappears. And I was just like, oh, okay. But I kind of really wish that he didn't come back, because it felt to me like it didn't need to happen, and it felt a bit different. But obviously everyone is now kind of wondering what's going on. With Pink finding out about his wife and going back to see if she's okay, he then gets really angry, and you can see that he's now going to transform into a monster. And with Pink transforming into the monster, and that's going to be the main takeaway from this, I'm kind of really liking it, because I feel like it's going to be interesting to see how the core dynamic of the team is going to change, or if he's able to use his powers when turning into the monster. So it would be really cool if he was able to turn into previous monsters that we've seen, hence creating a dark Donbrother or something like that. I think that would be kind of really cool. And that was it. That's all it is. This episode wasn't that great in my eyes. I generally kind of liked some elements, but I feel like having Don Momotaro there, I would like to see him come back in a few episodes. Not him just come back and be like, I'm helping out, guys, see you later, boy. But I kind of liked it. I think this episode wasn't as strong as last week's. Next week might be stronger, but for now, it's kind of up and down. Do I enjoy it? Yes, I do. Will I be continuing to watch it? Yes, because I generally like the series. But I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments or in chat right now. And with that, I'm going to leave it there. My name is Mark. I run the channel Heirloom. Come check me out over at youtube.com/Heirloom, as well as on Instagram, as well as Twitch. And on Twitter, you can find me at Mainstream Live. Thank you very much for watching this segment. And if I don't see you tomorrow, then I'll see you next week. Bye!